Alexander Lundgren, I'm talking about from my camera view. So whatever that camera number is, when that one's off, it's better. Anyhow, you can find us at therealmoneypros.com. Alexander Lundgren and I'm Brian Wiley. We're both licensed, experienced financial advisors. We work as fiduciaries only. We answer questions on this program. We're here for you. The phone lines are open as of right now. Wait, now. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. Because we heard we say it too fast. Not that time. Well, you know, Alex was telling me about a case, which she's going to get into here in a moment. And just to give you some background, Alex and I have been business partners for about 10 years.
Yeah,
about 10 years. Absolute success of a partnership. I honestly could not have described or formed one in a better way. You and I were, Josh, will you mute your microphone, please? Anyhow, Alex and I, you were doing a job for a very large insurance company, and you had your shortfalls, I had my shortfalls, and it's kind of like a marriage where it's like, hey, I can help you with your shortfalls.
Right.
You can help me with mine, and it worked out just perfect. Later we had Jeremiah, we grew the whole group, and we created a great firm where we all started from the same principles, which is I just want to go home at night and be able to feel okay about the advice I gave.
Yeah, the values were very much aligned, so the rest of it all just works.
When I first got into business, it was all about sales training and sales. You got to go out there. It's like your friends and family and just get everybody. And there was so much pressure. I was like, wait a second. I thought we were supposed to be giving people good advice that's actually pertinent to their world, and it was going to be in their best interest because they were coming here seemingly because they were trusting us. And it was true. Like in the late 90s and the early 2000s, if you've seen the movie Boiler Room or Wolf of Wall Street, that was still going on when you and I were both new in the business.
Yeah.
And so there was that influence, and there was the twisting of the truth, and there were motivations that were not suited for the person on the other end of it. That's not here in this program. 979-59-MONEY. I always said it was a slow burn. It takes a long time to build your book of business, but if you do it right, the money keeps coming. Your clients don't leave. You don't need to ask them for referrals. They will refer to you. It just happens that way. It's just a different view. Now, when we give advice, if you can imagine this too, we're saying we wanted to do this in their best interest, things like that. It starts to become really personal. Like to the point where you sit down with some clients, they are opening up everything to you, their mistakes, the stuff that they're kind of embarrassed about, maybe their habits and so on. And so they're trusting us to give them advice, and then sometimes they just don't take it.
Which, it's their money, they can do what they want.
And there's only so much you can handle, even as an advisor, where to the point where I fired clients, you fired clients. It's frustrating. Well, she's got a case where that's kind of the case where people do actions. Like, what are you even paying an advisor for if you're not going and getting the advice that you're paying for? I had a conversation with a listener just last week. It was a great conversation. I hope he calls the program back. And I'd like to hear about his experience. And just this last week, I said, call one of my team members or call our team members and just sit down with them and explain your situation and see what your thoughts are. And I don't know the result of that meeting just yet, but the point is seeking advice. Now, last year, I started building a house. And I've talked a lot about it on the air, and I said I took on the job of building the cabinets, mostly because, and this is just the truth, I saw these great CNC machines, and I found out that, and I've always wanted to mess around with a CNC router that does a lot of woodworking. You can make some really neat things on it. I mean, really, really neat things. And I'm a maker, I'm not a craftsman. I just want to be clear. I come up with ideas, and then I love to be able to see those ideas in action, but then somebody will see it and actually improve it, and that's the craftsman. That's what I really like to see. Well, I buy it. I decided I'm going to do the cabinets because I wanted to buy the CNC that said it would actually help make cabinets, but I also was smart at one point because I hired somebody as my advisor through the entire build process, and his name's Jared. Turns out he's actually a licensed contractor, the whole bit. I did turn it all over to him at one point, but I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to build a cabinet. He goes, Brian, he goes, honest, just don't do that. don't build the cabinets. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. I had all this confidence, been working with this machine for a year, and I knew I could do it. And, I did it. Mm-hmm. It took me about 5 months, and it was absolutely 100% not worth it. They look perfect. But the sanity I could have saved, there was a reason why I bought massages for everybody here in the office is because I needed one so bad. I went in and I all but tears laying there because my hands hurt, my fingers are going numb from overuse. I literally had cortisone injections into my hands. Did you know that?
No.
You see those? And then it melted my skin later.
Oh.
But I didn't need to do it. So I'd say, well, did you got the pride of, you built it. No, I would have been totally cool just telling my ideas to somebody at this point and just paid for it. You've made financial mistakes. You've leaned on advice or you've not leaned on advice. What are you doing right now that you might just need a little advice on? 979-59-MONEY. It's free. And that might sound just like Jared. Don't do it. Or we could just talk you through it. So if you want to call the program, we super enjoy it. The Real Money Pros, go to therealmoneypros.com. You can use the chat feature there. We're ready for you. I will not build cabinets again. Here's the fact though. I like doing some of like the show work.
Yeah.
The trim work.
The decorative part.
The decorative work.
And you do a beautiful job.
When I'm not doing cabinets. It's so frustrating, Alex, I could hardly even tell you. There are people, so I went back to the cabinet store yesterday because I needed to return some hardware. I bought too much. And they, of course, won't take it back, justifiably so, since it was all special order. And the guy asked me, he says, what do your cabinets even look like? I show him photos, he goes, why'd you paint them? I'm like, oh man, I don't even want to hear that right now. And I've learned even about that, which the reason why I painted them is because I didn't trust my woodworking skills.
Oh, interesting.
Which the reality is I should have gotten unfinished plywood and just finished them on my own because wood filler and all this other stuff, you can actually fix a bad woodworking job a lot easier than you can fix a bad paint job.
Huh, interesting. Yeah.
979-59-MONEY, what have you messed up? How has that worked out for you? Well, it's obviously not. You can call the program. We want to hear your questions. We'll give you the answers. And I can't see the call software right now. So Josh, Brian in Pennsylvania, let's go right to him. Phone lines are open, 979-59-MONEY. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how you doing today?
Fantastic. What can we do for you?
Good, good. Hey, I actually just had a quick question for you. So, I'm 45 years old. I have a regular 401k, and I just considered possibly investing maybe just a couple $100 a month into something. I've been watching the upward trend over the last several years with silver, and especially with its industrial uses in computer chips, solar panels, stuff like that. I don't know. I just been considering that and kind of wanted to pick you guys' brain and get your opinion.
So buying silver, what's the long-term purpose though? So 45 years old, you're going to take non-qualified, so this is money that's not in your 401k, like after tax, after you've paid your payroll taxes on it, and you're going to buy it, then hold it? Is that your plan?
Yes, correct.
And is it a giant percentage of your investable net worth? No, because you're starting out at a small rate, right?
Not.
So what are you going to put into it? Like, how much money?
Just a few hundred a month, maybe roughly $400 a month.
Okay, and could you afford to lose it or let it stay tied up for a number of years?
Yes.
Okay, well, I love silver then. Is it going to make up more than 5% of your investment portfolio anytime soon?
Definitely not, no.
Okay, and you've got savings and you've got other areas so you're able to make it every month? Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with silver. In fact, what happened with silver a number of years ago, if you can remember, it was stuck trading somewhere between 16 and 22 bucks, is it was working kind of like gold, but then they disconnected. What happened with gold, I believe, is that gold became so widely held that we weren't seeing the volatility of the currency hedge we were actually looking for because those people who were buying gold are sitting on it and holding it. So maybe you would have a better result with silver over the long run because I think there's some value to be made up if it's going to compare itself to gold. But you got to give that one time. I'd also look at some of the other precious metals, Brian. Thanks for the call. Certainly appreciate that. Palladium, platinum, useful metals. That is the idea, unless you're buying it as a currency hedge. If you're doing it as a currency hedge, then the whole conversation changes. We can have that one when we come back. This is the Real Money Pros. Brian Wiley, Alexander Lundgren. We'll be right back.
Make this year that you work smarter, not harder, with Ataraxis. As your strategic partner, Ataraxis becomes an extension of your business, taking the burden of
So,
HR,
yeah, that's true. I bought massage for
workers'
making
compensation,
this. I wouldn't
compliance,
know.
and
And
staffing
then they're like,
off
"Do you
your
guys
plate.
know-
You'll have more time to focus on operating and growing your business. Let Ataraxis handle the
get that
details so you can
$160
focus on what
value
matters
on
most.
that was
Learn
the
more at
90.
ataraxis.com.
Yeah.
That's ATARAXIS.com.
They said you could share it, so we have.
Mullen Wealth Management has transformed the way our team delivers financial advice. With their support, we're more equipped and more empowered than ever to provide top-tier financial planning, investment management, and personalized financial guidance. Apollon has been a key partner in helping us achieve our clients' unique financial goals. Whether you're an advisor
Have you
looking
been to
to
that shop?
enhance
Not
your
yet.
planning
I'm
experience
excited.
or an investor
I
ready
actually
to take
think
their
it was
wealth
where we
management to
had
the
a,
next level, reach out today to the Real Money Pros
Get a
by
bunch of
visiting
calls. We got David up next.
Let's elevate your
And
financial
then
future today.
Bill after that.
So when I use this PDM Studio.
Looking to make
okay,
your
maybe
dream of
now,
home
but-
ownership a reality? Look no further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. Academy strives to offer the best
Okay,
rates and
great,
terms
awesome.
for your
Yeah,
financial
Bill,
situation.
and
Academy
did
Mortgage,
you
you'll be
meet
treated like
with
family, not just another file. Navigating today's ever-changing
Yeah,
housing
that's
market
pretty
can
nice.
be challenging, but their team is here to
And
help.
he's got a lot of
Experience the
social
zero-down
security
options,
questions.
including loans with no
$2 million.
They also provide specialized medical professional loans and unique 2-to-1 rate buy-downs that
Alex
reduce
was
your
set up
monthly
to meet with
payment for
him,
the
and
first
I
initial
called
years of
him,
your
I talked
loan.
to
And
him,
forget
so
about dealing with brokers
really
and middlemen. With Academy
Asian
Mortgage,
guy.
everything
Never
happens
thought.
in-house.
He goes by the
From
name
origination
Brian.
to
His real name
funding.
is
Say
Boone.
goodbye
He's
to
Asian. I
hassles
said,
and surprises.
That's a
Begin
way
your
cool name.
ownership journey today by visiting
goes, "No,
online
that-
at academymortgage.com. That's
I'm like, you chose Brian, it's like the whitest guy name ever.
NMLS 3113 Equal Housing Lender.
At least he laughed about that, but he called me yesterday, left me a message, I
Home
haven't
lenders.
listened to it, I need to.
Okay, yeah.
I know you've been
I'll
waiting
make
for
time for him on his
Jen's
calendar.
Manicure Spa needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from
He hasn't
nail
heard from
files
Alex.
to spreadsheet
Oh.
files.
Well,
You're just not
forward
coming
that.
in
I'll
today?
call him tomorrow.
We have that whole bachelorette.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant
Do
Match
you, or-
instantly connects you
you
with
do
quality
both?
candidates whose
You
resumes
should,
and
right?
Indeed match your sponsored job
No,
description.
it's first.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I know, but I'm so over it right now.
Hey Moon, Harriet, I just now saw this message, although I did see you call yesterday, I didn't think of your message until right now, Harriet. Sorry about Alec not calling you back, maybe I was a little clear with him. Harriet, I'm sure it was a communication problem on my side, so I'm sorry about that, Harriet. I just forwarded your message to Alex, who is sitting next to me now, and she said she'll call you on Monday.
And now, back to the Real Money Pros.
We are back. This is The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. That's how you find us. We had a great call from Brian. Brian, thanks for that call. He was asking about silver. And really what it comes down to, because I have a neighbor that is heavily invested, he works for Micron, and Micron stock, if you've not noticed, is kind of basically parabolic. Went from $62 roughly, it's trading in the 400 and teens right now. It's really, really speculative as far as trying to catch up to that being an actual value.
Right.
I was mentioning to my neighbor, I just said, just make sure you're lightening up on it, you don't take too much. He goes, oh yeah, because whenever I get the stock options, I immediately sell them. And I said, well, you could hold some and get some of the advantages of this, but yes, those stock options were issued to them and it's a great deal. But over-concentration is usually the problem, is we start feeling good about things, and it's the one performer, so then you add a little bit more to it, and before you know it, you end up having too much of your portfolio in one thing. I've got a lot of Tesla stock right now, more than I'm comfortable owning, and I admit, I'm doing it because I think that Elon Musk will probably send out an offer for Tesla owners to buy SpaceX when they do the IPO.
Ah, okay.
Does it make sense, right?
Yeah.
He kind of seems like that type of guy. And so typically things are done in round lots, which is 100 shares. And because of that, you got to buy 100 shares of that stock. That's a lot of money. So I have some diversification risk when I was holding so much of it. And I saw the stock fall on Friday. And I do the same thing everybody else does, which is you cringe a little bit, but you got to remember the objective.
Right.
And I like my objective still, I'm gonna stick with it, and that's what I plan to do. And if you can stick to the silver investment, just the reasons that you said, without getting your head wrapped into something, about it, well then
Stick
do
to
it.
the plan.
Stick to the plan. If you really need to learn a better plan, go to therealmoneypros.com. We used a system that we created called Better Buckets. Now, we didn't create bucket-based investing. We created a visual way to have a purposeful investment plan that fits your goals, and it's calculated into the plan. It explains how to invest your money. We do this. We do it for free. Go to therealmoneypros.com. We're a sponsor-supported program. Let's go to the phone lines. We've got David calling out of San Francisco. David, thanks for calling Real Money Pros.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I was kind of interested in the inflation rate and looking at, here we are in the 250th birthday of America. And what did they do back then to beat out the most powerful kingdom there was on the planet and the value of England's money? They came up with the continental dollar, and of course the British started counterfeiting the continental dollar, and so after Washington beat the crap out of the Hessians at Valley Forge, they came up with new designs and continued the war against the British, and were able to beat out their fake money demands. And so I'm looking at today, when Donald Trump is ruining America's bond ratings, he's chasing away America's customers, he's creating war between our greatest allies, and so he's ruining the reputation of America. And so I'm looking at the hyperinflation that Donald Trump is building, and what's the average citizen to do when they face off against that kind of hyperinflation? Have you ever studied this kind of thing?
Well, you know what? I'm actually fascinated by what you just talked about. And so now, of course, you just piqued my interest, and I'm going to end up looking on YouTube for some documentary that I'm going to probably spend 5 hours on. I'll be an expert just like you at the end of it, but I don't know enough about the continental dollar and the situation with the, gosh, I mean, that would have been the revolution, the creation of the United States, and trying to separate the currencies. We went in and created a fiat currency. Now, the question, and let's just get down and boil this down, which is, and I want to go down to this, which is, are you allowing your anger or fear of Donald Trump to now start to change how you invest your money going forward?
Well, it's not anger or fear. It's recognition that the guy has been a currency speculator for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his international hotel kind of arrangement makes him an international currency speculator.
Okay, so
he has no loyalty to the U.S. dollar. He simply wants the bounce of varying currencies that he's holding.
Right.
And
So
now that he's created his strategic Bitcoin reserve, he not only doesn't have any loyalty to the U.S. dollar, but he has loyalty to imaginary money that demands electricity.
that's all fair to say, and it's all fair to say, and it's also hard to prove all of it. But I tend to actually believe much of what you're saying. In fact, this whole idea of naming a new Fed chief and this idea that there might be more control from the administration over the Federal Reserve, even though this new Fed chief, if he actually gets put into place, has said that he believes in separation. Well, I don't know. The amount of manipulation that's gone on, if you look at the U.S. dollar right now, trading at 97 roughly. Now, if you compare that to 2 years ago, or 3 years ago during even the Biden administration post-COVID, it went to 120, 130. Well, then we're not selling anything. And so there is a happy medium. And here's the most important part. It's a stable dollar. We've not seen the dollar plunge. And so a lot of what you're saying right now, sadly, is rhetoric, because it's not actually occurred. But if you're going to prepare for it, we just listened to the last caller talking about a great way to hedge the dollar. Now, he wasn't talking about it as a hedge. He was talking about it as a commodity with a useful purpose. So he was, okay, now let's talk about it as a hedge, because I teased into that as we went into the break anyway. As a hedge, that's exactly what you buy. If you think the U.S. dollar is going to fall, you want something the rest of the world is going to continue to value, and that can be exchanged against any currency, to include cryptocurrencies, whenever you want. So you can restore some purchasing power if there's a big fall in the U.S. dollar. But let me ask you this, please, which is, if you're talking about a change to your investment portfolio, what percentage of your investment portfolio are you suggesting this change for?
Well, I look for stability, And a currency of a nation is supposed to reflect stability. And Donald Trump and these, whether they're libertarians or whether they're the cryptocurrency crowd that are always looking, currency speculators are always looking for the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So that kills the farmers.
Yeah,
you know,
it does.
You look at people that work in mining, in a variety of different things in the real world, they can't afford to have prices jump by 10, 15% up and down, up and down. That kills them.
Yeah, unless you have a government that supports it, and supports it by sending out extra money to everybody so we can actually afford those bounces, or we're sold on the fact that tariffs are going to reduce our taxes, or whatever it is, but it's all political. And ends up, here's the biggest problem the way I see it. We swing this pendulum so hard to the left and to the right, it motivates the opposing side so much that they just undo the policies of the prior administration. We're into a very unhealthy point. I realize that, I understand that, and I completely agree. Now, the question is can we make money in this? You're saying you seek stability. I wouldn't seek stability in something you're saying is going to be unstable. Of course, I would seek it in income-producing investments and staying away from the currency markets, which are largely speculative, based on exactly what you're talking about, currency trades.
Yeah, as you're laying that out, and by the way, as you were talking with that previous caller, he was talking about investing in silver versus gold. You know, of course, gold does not rust, but silver does. And so if you were to stash a pile of gold, bury it in the basement, whatever, it's not going to rust over the course of time, but in the course of time, silver will.
But are we gonna really outlive the silver, or are we missing the whole point here? 97959 money, and we're gonna come back to this, it's Real Money Pros.
As we age, managing our finances can become
I'd say he's
increasingly
missing the point,
complex
because we're
with
talking about
changing
investing,
tax
and you're
laws,
not gonna have
estate
your silver
planning,
rust
insurance
in
needs,
20
and
years.
investment environments. At
So
Apollo
anyone
Wealth
wants to talk about
Management, their goal is
political
simple: to help enrich your life with
Yeah,
personalized,
I don't
expert
disagree with
financial
that.
advice.
No.
With a
The most
nationwide
unhealthy
network
thing
of
we've got right now in the
advisors, they're
United
committed
States
to
is
delivering the
Donald
best solutions for your financial
Trump.
future. It's time to take control and get the guidance
And
you
then otherwise I'm not
deserve.
arguing
Connect
with
with
that.
an
Well, and
Because
advisor.
he's-
we got
The Real Money
back
Pros.
up.
He's just not admitting what his true purpose of the call is, that's fine.
Do you have a
And
tax
I-
strategy going into this year to help maximize your tax savings? Jeremiah Bates with Tree City
And he's not
Advisors.
totally off,
We
but
consider key
we
factors
gotta
like
move
required
on.
minimum distributions,
I
Social
guess
Security, net
what I'm
unrealized
gonna say is
appreciation,
summarize, which
1031
is,
exchanges,
which
and
see, the
more.
problem
Because
is
a good
you
advisor
can't
should help you with
political
more than
motivations now
just
start
investments.
changing.
I can't change
Visit us
any
today
of
at
that, so I have to deal with
treecityadvisors.com
what
or
it
call
is.
us at
And let's plan for where we are and what we do,
Services
and
offered
the
through
plan's
Apollo
the
Wealth
plan.
Management LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Holland, an investment advisor registered with the
If you
Securities
think
and
that Donald
Exchange
Trump is going to, you know,
As a
create
financial
giant
advisor,
gains
I
for
often
parents
see
and
that
things
many
like that.
families I meet with
Right.
end up paying way too much
Absolutely.
money
Even
in
if you don't
taxes.
like it.
If a
Because
healthy
then
family
you'll
has an insurance
be
plan with a low
positioned.
deductible
Yeah.
but
I
high
agree.
annual premium,
There's
why wouldn't they look at a
just
high
smart
deductible insurance
That's
plan
right.
instead? They
So
could
it's
save
like-
on
You don't
their
have to like the
premiums and
decisions.
put
It doesn't mean
those
they're
saved dollars
they're
into a
not
health
smart
savings
financially.
account,
Even the
also
Biden
known as an
administration,
HSA.
when it was
It's the
coming
most
in, people were
powerful
so worried
tax
about
advantage
it.
account title available to us. So why not use
You gotta
it? Take
figure out what's
advantage
gonna
of
do all the
pre-tax
Biden
money that
administration
goes
being
on
involved.
tax-free, and then
There's
use
probably
tax-free
something like
for
healthcare
all of your
related.
qualified
This
healthcare
is-
expenses.
you
That's why
don't
you need
make
Life.
long-
Our favorite
short-term
because it's
moves for
simple,
long-term
fast,
money.
and free. I use it,
Yeah.
my
And if you're
colleagues
making
use it, and I recommend
solely
it to
political
all of my
moves,
clients.
it's a
Visit
short-term
Lively
move
right
for
away. You
long-term
can
money.
even
Yeah.
pull
Look at the
from
long
your
term.
existing HSA
I'm
money into
concerned, my biggest
plan
concern
and start
right now
saving
is
right
that
away.
all
I know you're going to
economic
love the
and
entire experience. Visit
technologically, we're headed in a
livelyme.com/pro
direction
today. That's
where it is very,
livelyme.com/PRO. Lively is a proud sponsor of the Real Money
it's
Pros.
gonna get
If
worse
you have a small
because,
business, Staples has your sign.
Banners,
I mean, it's gotta be at least
Why are you so
chilling.
backwards?
posters for
It's
my
gotta
new
be at
pet
least
store.
chilling when Elon Musk is talking about
Every
a
day,
high
Staples
basic
associates help
income
every
for
kind of
everybody
small
who's
business create bold signs to make
Which
big
means-
impressions.
What value
And
are
now
you
get
bringing?
$10 off
I know,
custom
exactly.
signs,
And
banners,
he
and posters
said
when you
that,
spend
I think,
$50 or
honestly,
more.
not
This
thinking
is
about
your
it.
sign, so print and
Which
big
is,
at
well, then
Staples.
who's putting it that way?
Visit
Yeah.
staplesconnect.com/.
That's right, they're all like in wheelchairs.
Imagine
Right?
Floating loungers,
Yeah.
yeah.
buy something and
That's
imagine
exactly what I
financial
picture.
plan
We
for
watched
your
Ready
goals
Player
on
One last
somebody
that. And it's kind of the same thing there, where everything's done for you. There's nothing for you to do.
We do things a bit
So
more
then-
than our
How boring.
peers.
Yeah, so
we
it
define
was
your purpose for
definitely
investing. We help you clean up messes and
increase our
research
intelligence
financial
over time.
issues from your past. We help you organize
No
all your
motivation.
financial pieces into
Nothing to
something
motivate
manageable.
you.
We're a fiduciary
Because
only
there's nothing
firm
to
that designs
achieve.
simple strategies.
Because,
We teach
yeah,
you how
we have to have
it
some
works,
sort of
how
a
it
sense of
works,
surviving.
high cost.
The other thing
We
is,
either
you
do
talked
those
about
investments for you, or
stability.
we can teach you how to do them on your own. In the end, we empower you with knowledge, lower fees, and
Stability is literally the
welcome
reason
to
why
Tree
markets
City
work.
Advisors. This is the way we think a financial advisor should work
Like,
with their clients.
we
At Tree
need
City Advisors,
volatility.
we provide flat
We
fee
need
planning and
all
training. We also offer full service asset management, and we employ do-it-yourself.
If the dollar settled, I think that the consensus is somewhere around
Learn
92
more at
is where it should stay.
TreeCityAdvisors.com. Tree City Advisors is an SEC registered investment advisor.
All right, so we have Bill. All right, we'll get Bill first. What was that last caller's name?
Listening to the Real Money Pros.
David. We are back. This is the Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. And David, thanks for the call. Sorry to cut you off short there. We actually have, when we have to go to break, we have to go to break right then. It's a national program. It's broadcast many markets who, they've got local commercials. We want you to purvey with them. Of course, we want you to listen to the sponsors of this program because that's what keeps us on the air. Phone lines are open. Now, I don't disagree with what he said. I don't have enough background to be able to have the full discussion about it. But if you get back to the point here, which when we talk about better buckets, when we talk about the sensible way to invest your money, Alex and I are talking about years of experience where we've noticed what works and what fails. And what I've noticed is that when clients tell me, or people have told me on the air for 25 years now, how their politics are starting to change the way that they invest, or they're so upset that they make abrupt changes. I have never once seen it work out. You saw this too.
Jump out of the market because it's gonna fall.
Yep.
Every election, that's the thing. Doesn't matter who wins, who doesn't win, every election.
You and I had clients that we didn't meet until the end of the Obama administration that came to us and admitted that they didn't invest their money at all during the time that the Obama administration was in. So they, in essence, sold out at the end of the Bush II administration, which was a market low.
Yep.
And then they sat out, and then they missed the next 8 years of recovery. Because of their distaste for the administration, they were so motivated that now they have delayed retirement. Because of that, they missed it all. What we're talking about here in the Better Buckets and the whole idea of the Real Money Pros and what we're strongly promoting with the advisors in our entire network, which is how do you help people plan in a healthy way? One is you've got to figure out what their level of knowledge is, what they want to do with it, then you show them in a visual way, and then it becomes a system. And the idea here is that you remove fears and you try to remove greed in order to replace it with a strategy that explains how it's to be done along the way. But if we're buying income investments, we're buying them for specific reasons, and those reasons are also calculated into amounts. So we don't have too much, we don't have too little. We know what the criteria is to generate income. When we need stability, we're not buying currencies because we don't want to see it go from 130 to 96. We want to know what it's worth the day that we need it. And so stability is typically found in CDs. You can buy short-term bonds. You can just leave it in cash, represented at your bank. Money market accounts. That's what we're talking about. Aren't those also explanations of the investments inside of each one of the buckets so far? Income investments would be dividends, interest, might be business income that you've got. It could be whatever it is, but it generates income. Maybe you own a partnership, whatever it might be. But then the rest of it, if you put it into growth, it's expected to be exposed to the volatility of the markets that we actually invite for strategic investors. 979-59-MONEY. Let's go to Bill, calling out of Beverly Hills, California. Hi, Bill.
Hi, thanks, Brian. I enjoyed your show very much.
Thank you.
Hey, got a question about paying the taxes on Roth conversions.
Yeah.
I'm 67. I've got about $2 million in 401k, and I want to start converting, I guess, for all the reasons that make sense right now. And as far as liquid cash, I got about 150k that I can that will help pay the taxes for the next 6 years before I turn 73. But that 150 ain't going to take me all the way through the next 6 years. So I guess my first question is, am I correct in assuming that the best option to pay the taxes on these Roth conversions, and I'm looking at converting anywhere from 150 up to 186,000 per year for the next 6 years. So that's going to be eating up anywhere between probably 40 to 50,000 per year. So after I use up all this liquid cash I got, I'm trying to figure out what's the next best move. Is it to use current Roth conversion funds I already have and just tap into those funds? Or,
so, Bill, you said you're over 59 and a half, right?
Yeah, I'm 67.
Because if you weren't, this would be a different answer. I'm going to tell you, let what makes the tax bill pay the tax bill, have it deducted out of the conversion, and use that non-qualified cash to live on, so you don't have to take more money out of the IRA than the conversion. And Brian's going to give you a different answer.
No. I
you looked at me all of a sudden. I was like, wait, what?
Well, for a moment there, I was trying to digest what you just said, because we had a similar call last week.
Yeah,
right?
Let what makes the bill pay it.
Jeremiah had said very quickly, he says, no, use your non-qualified money. That's your money out of your bank account that you've got saved up, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying use the qualified money or non-qualified?
During the conversion, have them withhold the taxes.
Out of the IRA?
Out of the IRA.
Okay, so wait, let me give you the re-shocked face. The re-shocked face. Okay.
And here's why I think this, for a couple of reasons. One, with the withholding, the way that the IRS credits it versus if you do quarterly taxes is better. Two, use that qualified money for the other things that you want to do that maybe you're not doing. If you're like, well, we have enough income, great, go do something fun, right? And three, if taxes stay identical, it doesn't matter where you paid it from, you're just paying less now. But the amount that you take out of the account at the end is identical, that is spendable for you. So I believe in letting that conversion pay it.
What about the argument that it's better that the whole amount go into the Roth so that...
That's the argument I'm going to make.
If your tax bracket is actually higher when you take it out, that works. If it's identical, I can show you where it makes zero math difference.
If it's identical?
Yeah.
You mean you're saying in the future?
Yeah.
We already know that it's not going to be identical. We know that taxes will go higher, right? To some degree, we're going to have tax bracket movement.
Yeah.
The question, what we don't know is, will Bill be taking the amount of money out of, let's say, a Roth that he would have needed that would have bumped him up into a higher marginal bracket in the future? And we don't know that. So what we do know is that we know the taxes right now, we know there's a general trend to raise taxes in the future, and you're going to have to pay for more of other people's problems. That's just the way it goes. So if that's the assumption, now then yes, it will reduce the amount that is converted. But if under the assumption that it's the exact same tax rates, you have the exact same number, that is correct.
And if you aren't planning to take money, this is true. I'm going to argue with you one more time, Brian.
Okay,
if this is truly to reduce required minimums in the future because they would be so high and stick you in high tax brackets, then let the conversion pay it.
That's true. And so, do you see how this actually becomes kind of you're actually making a forecast? So when you make it, so there may not be a best answer here. It might just be, let's just know what we know going into it right now, which is yes, you can convert a little bit less as far as what you're going to see landed in the Roth, because some of it went to taxes, but you can also avoid some IRMA issues, which we're going to talk about a giant mistake at some point here, because Alex just rolled through one of those type of cases. Does that work for you, Bill? Meaning there's not really a clear-cut answer for this.
Well, let me throw in another component. I have not taken Social Security yet, so I was going to wait till 70 maybe, so I could use more of the money towards the conversion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of taking the money out and paying the taxes on the conversion with the Social Security money. So that's another thing I'm struggling with. Do I take the money out now at 67 and use that money to pay the taxes, or do I just not take it out till I'm 70 and get the higher get more money at 70?
Well,
so this is another
Yeah, so
component.
you're thinking in all the right directions. There's two things that happen potentially with that Social Security. Not only are you reducing the amount, and you're reducing the amount that will get cost of living increases for the rest of your life. I don't know what the situation would look like for survivor benefits, but if yours is the larger payout, you're reducing that survivor benefit too. But if it's not, it's not doing that. But
my wife. Yeah, my wife has the higher one. So
okay, so that's not a factor.
Wait till 70. Yeah.
It will probably be taxable to 85% of it, but it sounds like you may not get out of that no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Maybe give them back their money to pay the taxes.
I'd run scenarios on
I'm
it.
getting a pension. I've got a pension
Oh,
as well.
there's that.
That
Yeah.
already kicks me above. I'm going to be taxed on the Social Security anyway. So.
Yeah.
But.
And then keep Irma in mind.
Yeah, Bill, this is great.
Say that again?
Oh, then you gotta keep Irma, that's what could increase your Medicare payments, because he has too much income. And Alex just went through this case where somebody took out too much money in their pre-tax IRA, did the distribution, and now they're paying, another $400 a month? $400 a month for their Social Security, or their Medicare, just because they didn't do the planning. And Bill, you gotta run those scenarios. Our team would be happy to help you. Thanks for the call, certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, good thoughts.
Go to therealmoneypros.com. Call us here in the program, 979-59-MONEY. I'm Brian Wiley with Alexander Lundgren. We're going to get to Jade when we come back. You got questions, we've got answers. We're the fiduciaries right here, live on The Real Money Pros.
Businesses today face a barrage
He's
of challenges.
looking at all the right
For
stuff.
top talent, the
That's
search for the
true.
right benefits package, and the
That
ever-rising
was
tide of
smooth.
healthcare.
Yeah, I called him last
Putting
week to
together
tell him
the
that.
right team to run
So,
your
okay,
HR-related
see,
tasks can be
I said, like,
expensive,
we
let alone
need to actually
time-consuming.
plan
Enter
calls
Ataraxis
that
PE,
Like
you
that
like
one.
to do. He goes, really?
organization
I said,
ready
first of
to
all, thank you for
tackle all
changing
your
your name from
HR
last week. He
needs,
goes,
payroll,
you knew those guys. I
benefits
said, "Come call
administration,
ID."
payroll
I'm like,
services,
"Yeah,
workers'
please don't stop."
compensation,
So here
and
it
talent
is.
recruiting.
Okay.
They've got you covered.
Yeah.
With Ataraxis, you gain access to a team of experts who handle
for
the
him.
nitty-gritty of HR,
But-
bringing you up
so
to
yeah, it's
date
a neat
on
one
what
out
you
of
do
California.
that's growing your
I think
business.
Yeah, there's a lot of what
Ataraxis
ifs.
takes the time
And you're
to
right,
figure out
the only way to
your
know is to run the numbers.
personalized solutions to help you and your team succeed. So say goodbye to the stress of HR administration and hello to
He's like, how much would it cost for you guys? I said, I don't know, just think
business
1%.
partner with
And
Ataraxis PE.
I said, but,
Visit AtaraxisPE.com.
think about, like, the
That's
level of advice that you're gonna get. I said, it comes down to it, is it should make your taxes
Ataraxis, elevating businesses for the benefit of all.
Be better for you.
Yeah.
I
He
know
said
you're
that the
waiting
current
on
advisors never asked him
Jen's
anything
manicure
about
spot needs an
any
extra
of
pair
his
of
other
hands.
Is at
stuff.
the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
He's not coming in today?
No, and I said,
We
okay.
have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
He's not an advisor, he's a money
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
As a financial advisor, I often see that many families I meet
Oh, you
with
sound so
pay
good on
way too
here.
much money in taxes. If a healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but
We had
high
a really good
annual
show a
premium,
while
why
ago.
wouldn't
Jeremiah
they
and
look
I
at a
should,
high
like, was
deductible
it
insurance
great?
plan instead?
One of
They could
those where
save
you
on
get
their
off and you're
premiums
like,
and
yeah!
save dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown tax-free and then used tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
you need Lively, our favorite because it's simple, fast, and free. I use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. Visit Lively
I've been
right
in
away.
that
You can
place. I
even
told you
roll
we
over
saw
your existing
YouTube.
HSA
Oh, did
money
you go
into
see
this new
that
way
one?
and start
She got us
saving right
roll
away.
seats.
I know
She
you're
didn't
going to
know.
love
We
the
sat-
entire
we were
experience.
like
Visit
in a geriatric
livelyme.com/pro
We made it about 30
today.
minutes.
That's
Couldn't deal with it
livelyme.com
anymore. And somebody near us
/PRO.
literally
Lively is a proud
was
sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
gassy, like vomit smell.
No, that's
gas, poop.
That sucks.
Yes, we left.
Bummer.
I know, but the place is beautiful. I told her I want to go back.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. We will pick up Jaden right away if you want to let him know.
And we're back to the Real Money Pros.
We are back. This is the Real Money Pros. TheRealMoneyPros.com. That's how you find us. Alexander Lundgren. I'm Brian Wiley.
Bill, great questions. You're thinking all the right things, and we were talking about it during the break. It's really, you gotta run the what-if scenarios to figure it out, to get you to the right answer.
The what-if scenarios are pretty cool because you just imagine a big spreadsheet, you just change a number here or there, and it affects everything. Kind of look at your spending plan, how does it affect those things, or what if we made some sort of an adjustment, like added a Social Security benefit at a certain time? You can see that that may take away from your withdrawals from something else, and then how everything will work, kind of work itself out. However, remember that there are assumptions that you're putting into these what-if scenarios that you're making guesses, right? It's a guess. Could I get, let's say, a 7% annualized investment return, good and bad markets over a span of 10 years? You put that in. We don't know the answer to that until 10 years has come up. So think of it as a pro forma, where then you go in, you make the adjustments for what your guesses are, and you do this on a regular basis. That's when you make adjustments, not because you don't like political parties or you don't like the field that you have or AI is overvalued or whatever it might be. 979-59-MONEY. Let's go to Jaden calling out of Olympia, Washington. Jaden, thank you for the call.
Hi, thank you so much for taking me.
Absolutely. What can we do for you?
I'm currently in college and I'm trying to do my taxes. I just have some questions about the tax info because I'm a little bit confused on it.
Okay.
All right, so I've been in school since September, and I'm not completely sure if I qualify for like going to college full time for this tax season. Since I've been in college since September and it's now January, does that count as 5 months, or would it end in December? Only giving 4 months, so I would report all of this on my next tax season.
If you earned income in any taxable year, you report it. It's just you may not have an amount of income that is taxable, but otherwise you have to report it. So you got to file a tax return. And
okay.
All right. And if you don't owe money in taxes, people don't know this. You actually are not required to file a tax return. If you already know that you do not owe any more money, then you don't have to do it. But if you owe money, then you got to file a tax return. The IRS already knows that you owe money, which is why I can't stand the system. They already know that you owe money. Just send me a bill. Like, why are we playing this game of truthfulness, whether or not I present all the right documents? But that's just the way it goes. As far as your parents claiming you, how old are you?
I'm 22, so I'm not going to be claimed as on anyone's taxes.
That's right.
I'm just trying to get the tax credit for going to college full time, and I want to make sure that I qualify for that without lying on my return.
Yeah, and the IRS definition is at least 5 calendar months, and it would end with the calendar year. So you're not going to meet that IRS definition of it for the minimum number of hours. So, but you will this next year, so keep it up.
Awesome, thank you. And then I have one more question. So I used my 529 money for this year. Is that also something I should report next year? Do I not have to worry about this year?
So what will happen is you should have received or will be receiving from the 529 plan, it's like a 1099Q, I think. Don't quote me on that, but along that will show the withdrawals. And there is a place on your taxes where you'll put that down and your taxes will say, were they all qualified? And you're going to say, yes, they were used for like tuition or books or housing, whatever the reasons were. And it won't, so it's kind of like one of those left-hand column things where it's all there, but it doesn't change your taxes. But you will have to account for it. So if you haven't seen that yet, don't send your taxes in yet.
Okay, sounds good then. Thank you so much.
You
I really
bet.
appreciate your time.
Yeah, Jaden, thanks for the phone call.
Good questions.
The 529 plan is a self-audit program, so you're supposed to keep documents and you wait. If you have a question about it, well, then you've got to prove your expenditures. So that's why you start out 2026, it's a great time to reset everything and to start cleaning your HSA or 529 plans, and you're looking at your distributions, you've got a file going, and then they sock that file away at the end of it, as long as that's all reported on your tax return and it matches the documents that they already know you got. 1099-Q, that was dead on correct, Alex. Well, then self-audit program just says that you do nothing with that until they ask for it, if they ever do.
Yeah, as far as the receipts, but yeah.
Yeah, so just an interesting way to have to do that. But anyhow, thank you for the call. Certainly appreciate that, Jaden. Great questions. Sounds like he's doing some great planning, and good luck to you in college. The income thing. So you still have to file a tax return in theory, but meaning you've got taxable income. Now you just have to prove that you're not a full-time student, and that's going to be determined on that tax return.
No, it's just the IRS. You can't check the box if you don't meet their qualifications.
There you go. Phone lines are open 979-59-MONEY. Since we only have a few minutes left in this hour, next hour we will talk about, actually, why don't you give that case information right now since it's really pertinent? Yeah, just what you know.
So a couple who's retired decided to buy a new car. Financing was at 0% as one of the deals. So they decided that it would be a great idea to take the money that they had for the car, because they could have paid cash for it, put it in a high-yield savings account and have the payments deducted from there. They're going to earn like 3.5% to 4% on this money. Sounds good. They took 100% of the amount for the car out in November of 2025 to put into the account. It was about $89,000.
Okay, spinning car.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's a nice car.
I bet.
Which then, as we know, IRS taxes money out of a traditional IRA as income. This bumped them from the 24 to the 32% tax bracket federally. It put them over the 226,000 of income for where they change what your Medicare premiums are every month for 2026. And there's both of them on Medicare. So
and they had state income too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so just in Medicare alone, it's going to cost them an extra $4,800. They're not even going to earn that in interest on this account. If we had split that deduction between 25 and 26, so like 30 of it in November and the rest of it in January, they'd have stayed in the 24% bracket and they would have increased their IRMA.
So the IRMA is the income-related monthly adjustment amount. So when you're paying your Medicare Part B and D premiums, maybe you can talk to this, which is, it's a set amount, unless you make so much money that you no longer qualify for that lowered set amount. It's kind of like a subsidized amount, right? And so you're, in essence, disqualifying yourself for the subsidy, even though your intentions were to just take some money out of something, and now you report it on there. It comes as your, on your 1099, that there's a distribution from the IRA. Now, the conversions that we were talking about earlier can look exactly the same to the IRS. And the question is when did you pay the taxes so you could subject yourself to the quarterly tax payment situation, and of course having to pay late fees, but also subject yourself to this IRMA disqualification.
Yeah, so this cost them a lot of money just by not thinking to split it up.
So that's the cost of not calling to get the advice. And just like I had said, even though sometimes we will give the advice, people don't necessarily always take it. It might be a little frustrating. We're not here to point fingers and say, told you so, although told you so.
Yeah, how
gotta get the advice.
expensive is the advisor when they save you $6,000 on taxes?
From a mistake, meaning that you didn't even necessarily, would you have saved them additional money, which just stopped them from paying additional money from their mistake, meaning maybe just knowing about the environment's good enough. I talked to somebody last week that was telling me that their financial advisors never had an in-depth conversation with them about their family situation, tax situation, estate, and having that all distill into the financial advisory plan for the client. He says, what plan? I said, oh my God, that's even worse. Okay, you're paying for all of this advice, and maybe they're not giving you the advice because you've never asked the questions, which, hey, this is a sad truth. Sometimes it's easier when you got a quiet client that you think everything is just fine and you don't really think of the questions to ask them because they're not right there in front of you. And I'm not justifying, I'm just saying this is in fact a practice that we notice is that they're that easy. Then why call them and make it more difficult? You need to contact your advisor. Your advisor is getting paid make them work for it. It's a good thing. It's not gonna hurt. You're gonna get some clarity, maybe some education, or maybe you'll get nothing, which will be an indication. Phone lines are open, 979. We're gonna come back for our second hour. If you're gonna miss that one, go to therealmoneypros.com. Find us on your podcasting app, continue listening, call the program, interact with us. We're here for you. We're gonna teach you better buckets. We're gonna teach you better ways to invest, better ways to digest the market information, which, no, I'm not that worried about what's gonna happen over the next 3 years on money that won't be used for 15. We'll be right back.
The Real Money Pros is hosted by Brian Wiley and other team members of Tree City Advisors of Apollon. Tree City Advisors of Apollon is a DBA of Apollon Wealth Management and SEC registered investment advisor.
A variety of
The
things.
Real Money Pros, the Real Money Pros and Tree City of Apollon are not affiliated
good.
with any
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
or non
Who is Jay?
professionals.
He's a buddy of mine. Yeah, I worked with him.
I think he was
Management
somebody
and
was that
financial
real.
sponsors of the Real Money
That was
Pros.
real. I mean,
Only Apollon receives advisory.
He's a college student. But I had told him, he was like, hey, can I see the call? And I was like, well, we're not really doing that right now. But he's like, I want to call anyway.
He's like, I got some questions.
Because so he reached out to me, he wanted to call. Just,
Yeah.
How about remember I said, well, he was a good call.
Your emotions can drive many decisions, but when
Yeah,
it comes
good
to
questions.
money, they should
Very
be in the
easy to
driver's seat.
understand.
I'm
Set up
Alex,
a
the
little,
Tree City Advisors of
what's
Apollo. We get to
James'
know
last
you,
name?
and your goal is to build a holistic, time-based investment strategy. Investing isn't rocket science, but having the right partner helps you stay the course. Learn more about us at treecityadvisors.com or call us at 208-1244.
Advisory services offered through Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Apollon, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Apollon Wealth Management has helped me and my team change the way we conduct our advisory business. The result? We believe we are better equipped to provide the highest level of quality financial planning, investment management, and comprehensive financial advice than ever before. Apollon has been instrumental in our efforts to assist clients in achieving their distinctive financial objectives. If you're an advisor seeking to improve your client experience or an investor seeking to elevate your
college
wealth
student.
management to a higher personal
And a little
standard,
bit
contact us at The Real Money Pros. That's The Real Money Pros.
Cooper's graduation party, Vicky had arranged for them to.
Imagine financial advice without a sales pitch to buy something. Imagine a long-term financial plan focused on your goals,
Beer
not your
pong,
investment
but instead they're
goals.
playing
At Tree
with
City
money.
Advisors,
She was, we pretty much $5 bill away. They're college
we help
students.
you define your
Bills
goals.
too. We stuffed 100 into one of them. Watch those guys actually. There was like 6 college students actually trying to get
Effective investment strategy.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it
Without
was,
clutter, confusion, or high cost. Welcome to Tree City Advisors of Apollon. This is the way we think a financial advisor should work for their clients. At Tree City Advisors of Apollon, we provide flat fee financial planning and training. We also offer full service asset-based investment management, and we employ do-it-yourself technologies. Visit treecityadvisors.com. There's never a fee for an initial meeting or review, so let's get started. Learn more at treecityadvisors.com. Advisory services offered through Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Apollon, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Are you in the market to buy a house or just looking to refinance your current mortgage? For helping individuals and families achieve affordable homeownership, Academy Mortgage is a first choice. And when finding that perfect loan for the perfect home, you need a company that will treat you like family, not just another file. To help you navigate through today's ever-changing housing market, Academy Mortgage has zero down options available to you. That includes zero down with no mortgage insurance. We also offer medical professional loans and 2-1 rate buy downs that help lower your monthly payment for the first several years of your loan. Origination, processing, underwriting, and closing and funding will all happen in-house. With over 34 years in the business, we know that buying a home is more than just a house. That's why it's important we protect our customers and safeguard their financial wellness for years to come. Visit us online at academymortgage.com today to start your journey to homeownership with Academy Mortgage. That's academymortgage.com. Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
To offer valuable advice and earn clients' trust as an advisor, it's essential to always put their interests ahead of personal gain or the preferences of any particular company. Advisor Insurance Solutions is dedicated to delivering insurance solutions from an advisory perspective. They provide objective and unbiased insurance planning, making it an integral part of their comprehensive advisory process. If you're looking for insurance guidance that aligns with your financial goals, visit therealmoneypros.com. That's therealmoneypros.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Running out of gift ideas for your loved one? Send flowers with Flower Fix. And need to create joy in your living or workspace? With many working from home these days, create joy in your space with flowers. Flower Fix is a subscription-based flower delivery service perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, or any special occasion. We offer 2 subscription options to choose from, a text-based subscription or a traditional one. Enjoy these big, beautiful hand-designed bouquets that are delivered straight from our flower fields to your door. Log on now, www.flowerfix.com, to choose your flowers today. Have control over when you want flowers delivered. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? Get your flower fix at flowerfix.com. Use code FlowerFixPro to receive 20% off your first order. Flowerfix.com.
Had he called you before that?
No. I know you've been waiting.
He just.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands. Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deirdre's not coming in today. But we had that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast. Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job.
Oh,
Terms and
totally.
conditions
I never
apply.
seen that.
Healthcare expenses can be a burden, so why not make the most out of the money that we spend anyway? Take advantage of the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, a health savings account, also known as an HSA. That's why you need Lively. Visit Lively right away. Open your HSA, roll other HSA money into that new plan, and then start saving. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelymeme.com/pro today. That's livelymeme.com/PRO.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Price for Life. Do you have a life insurance policy that you'd like to sell? If you don't need coverage anymore or would rather not keep making the premium payments, visit our website, priceforlife.com. Don't let your policy lapse when you can potentially get a cash payment for it. There are several reasons why a life settlement might be a great value to you. Perhaps your policy is too expensive, or you feel you no longer need the death benefit, or you may think you need to wait until death before your family can get the money from the insurance company. This is why you may want to consider a life settlement. Price for Life has excellent resources available along with a free evaluation process to help you understand the value of your policy and the options available to you. Price for Life's clients have received hundreds of thousands of dollars for their policy when they would have otherwise just let it lapse by stopping the premium payments. Get the compensation you deserve. Visit priceforlife.com today and fill out the case evaluation form to see if your policy qualifies. That's price, the number 4, life.com. Priceforlife.com.
She actually slept with her contacts in the night. Gets up in the morning, she's panicking. I can't see it. Oh my God, I can't see.
Oh no.
I said, put your contact out. She's gonna get one in. She pulls it out, she's coming out. She's attacking.
Oh no. No, that would freak me out a little bit too.
The Real Money Pros is brought to you by the Real Money Pros and the sponsors heard within this broadcast. Material presented on this program may not be suitable for you. Consult a registered investment advisor when evaluating any particular investment, security, or investment strategy. The views
overarching story.
do not necessarily reflect those of this station. Brian Wiley and Jeremiah Bates are investment advisor representatives of Apollon Wealth Management, an SEC registered investment advisor. The Real Money Pros, Brian Wiley and Jeremiah Bates, the weekend's smartest money show. Investing, taxes, legal topics, insurance, and every other confusing money topic made simple.
We are back. This is the second hour of The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. We realize not all stations take both hours of the program. If yours is one of them, then you're probably picking us up on the podcast, or maybe a different station. Request that they get both hours of it, please. 979-59-MONEY is the phone line. Alexander Lundgren, I'm Brian Wiley, both licensed financial advisors, broadcasting now for 25 years. Isn't that crazy? 25 years. I haven't done anything for 25 years except for live, and then it turns out I've been broadcasting that long too. So, been financial advisor. You know, if you really want to know like what it was like, we first started out. You started out about 5 years before I did. I think you said 96. Were you 94?
Licensed in 98, but I started in Marissa in 94.
Okay, yeah. So at the same time as the brokerage industry, you had the technology industry that was just going nuts. Silicon Valley was really getting noticed. You had all these so-called IPOs, and I was freshly out of college and was thinking, man, I want to get into this. I was starting to hear about money to be made and everything, and when I got into it, I was a stockbroker, just to be clear. We were licensed as financial advisors, but we didn't use that license. We used the Series 7, which was our commission-based stock brokerage license, where you called people, you made suggestions, and then they would buy it, and you'd earn a commission. Well, that all dried up right when I started in the business. It was the tech boom bust, and I had to figure out a different way to do it. I started working for a large company that had started a planning operation and really focusing on what is called our Series 65, which is the advisor side of it, and training and all that. I went to Atlanta for training for several weeks. It was great. What I was learning was, wow, all the plans ended up in some sort of a suggestion for an insurance policy, and it was because the company that had started this planning company had changed the name of it. The overarching company was an insurance company that wanted to sell their annuities. And what we were selling them, what we were really selling to people was some sort of a way for them to tolerate their fears in the markets. It was about handling volatility. So guess what you do when you're selling that?
You scare people.
You do. It is the motivating tool to use. The motivating tool is to talk about, I mean, at the time, it was like, well, you just had September 11th happen, and you know, the rest of the market forever is going to keep taking away everything, and certainly it did for like another year. We didn't bottom out until March of 2003, so September 11th, so about 16, 17 months.
Yeah.
And then it finally started to bounce back. And I wasn't selling annuities, it didn't work. I was already broadcasting, I had moved to a different firm, and I realized that being a stockbroker didn't work, and I had to really lean into the training that I had received, which was the planning. And it turned out, even though the market was crushing it through 2006, 2007, getting overheated, there were many news articles in, we were sitting on a precipice, a cliff, and there was fear. If I was selling annuities at that time, I would have been very successful. Because I would have proven them right for the next 2 years.
Well, there's always a down market coming at some point, right?
Yeah,
down, sideways.
Always. We're going to see a market that is going to come back down. The question is how do you handle that fear? Like, for example, right now, you've got markets at all-time highs. I was talking to my neighbor about his micron stock. How are you overexposed, or what is it that you're going to do if it doesn't last, or do you change anything? Do you feel fearful? That caller we had in the last hour that was calling out of San Francisco, highly critical of President Trump, and talking about economic policy and the destruction of the dollar and the manipulation and everything. And I was hearing fear, 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 and I'm going to guess that that translates into portfolio changes. What I've noticed in 25 years is that, you know, you can actually make money in every administration that has happened. The Trump 1 administration, even the Biden administration was creating gains for certain investments. And I noticed this a long time ago, and I was told, coach this too, which is you gotta counsel your clients out of this. How do you do it? Oh, you just tell them stay with the plan. You gotta stay steady. I'm like, that does not work. They work through like 2 phone calls. When the markets are crumbling, that doesn't work. What did work
Doesn't make them feel better.
was saying, come back into the office and let's go over what we were planning for. Let's review the investments that we bought, knowing what we knew at the time that we bought them. And let's see if those investments are still good for the long-term objectives, short-term objectives, maybe the income objectives, but is the plan intact? And what I noticed was I had started in this industry and they put the office that I was working in had glass whiteboards. And those glass whiteboards, just a whiteboard, so it offered the opportunity for the guy who trained me. He would stand up almost the whole time. He's sitting there drawing all these visual answers for just about every question. And I saw how effective it is for me to learn, but also in many cases the clients. But I also noticed that he stood there the whole time and it put him into a position of like authority, like a teacher to the client, that I found that later I felt like he was abusing for the fact that he was telling clients what they needed to do. And I thought about it a little bit different, thinking, well, it's a tool. You actually go to that whiteboard once you know the situation and you have a solution, but you stand there now instead as an instructor saying, here's a visual explanation for what I've learned from you, and then here's how we would approach this in a visual way, show them buckets, show them how the planning works, and then go back to it. Then tell them to take a photo of it. That was probably the most powerful thing I started doing, which was, I want you to take a photo of it. We're gonna pull up this photo the next time you come in. 6 months later, year later, you put that up because those were the assumptions that everybody knew when we handshook that day on their way out.
Yeah.
How have things changed? Has it changed? You know, there's gonna be some life adjustments. How are you handling that? Because some people are simply either ignoring it or they're fearful of it, but that's largely what we do.
Yeah, it's teaching people the processes, and the big thing is knowing that we've got the right money in the right places, and the only way to know that is to know the purpose of the dollars, which requires us knowing all of their stuff, so that we understand what is it that we need to have to supplement income for the next few years? What is it that we need to have for the upcoming expenses? There is going to be a new car within the next 5 or maybe 2, or there's a kid that we want to give them the down payment to their house. Whatever those things are, if we know that, we can put the money in the right place to accomplish those goals. You don't put money at risk that shouldn't be, and you put money at risk that's long-term. You can't be aggressive in a good market and conservative in a bad market and reach your goals.
I got a mailer the other day from, it's got to be, it's a financial advisory firm. I know that they sell a lot of insurance, and it's a dinner invite to a very, very nice restaurant. I always look at those thinking, man, I just like to show up and ask questions, but I would never do that. It's not, I don't go out and try to destroy somebody else's methodology for their business or anything, but I can certainly disagree with what those mailers typically are. So when I first started in the industry, those mailers were a way for us to gather clients, right? So you get them in there, you pay for their dinner, and they're gonna sit through a sales pitch. That's all there is to it. It's gonna be some sort of an example, it's gonna be some question and answer, some of them might be staged. But you've gotta know what you're heading into, that you're probably gonna be sold something. So it's long been since my belief that that conflict in the advice has to occur whenever there's an incentive for the advisor to gain from the advice that they give.
Yeah.
That's the conflict, right? So maybe the conflict could be the investment commission. It could be, who knows, the length of the contract. It could be the amount of the advisory fees. You gotta know what's in it for them as well. I was so sensitive from the very beginning about my reputation that I decided to get rid of all these other licenses. I decided I didn't want to have an insurance license. I didn't want to have, I'm not going to go out and get my CPA designation. I'm not going to have any other conflicts in the advice other than the Series 65, which I talked about here just a few minutes ago. The idea here is that the conflict-free was to prove to my clients that I'm going to do the things that are going to be in their best interest. That's fine. Except for now, when we refer clients out, let's say we refer them out for an estate plan, or maybe their taxes, and we send them to a CPA that we've got. Whenever there's a problem, they call us first. And they call us and we didn't get anything out of it. And I'm thinking, but then I've got to go and now I've got to fix the relationship, figure out where the miscommunication was, or maybe spur on the CPA who didn't get the email or hear the go-between. So now I'm answering this and I've got no benefit for it. And I would actually chalk this up as a failure the way that I designed the business to say that we won't want to have any conflicts. And I told teams, Alex and I are on the same page. I said at minimum, we should actually start helping people do their taxes. We might as well get something out of it because we do the bulk of it through our financial planning process.
Part of the planning is to have a tax strategy.
You can't do financial planning without addressing the tax situation as well. What do you think? 979-59 money, is that the level of service you want? We'll be right back.
Make this year that you work smarter, not harder, with Ataraxis. As your strategic partner, Ataraxis becomes an extension of your business, taking the burden of HR, payroll, benefits, workers' compensation, compliance, and staffing off your plate. You'll have more time to focus on operating and growing your business. Let Ataraxis handle the details so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at Ataraxis.com. That's Ataraxis.com.
To be the best.
As we age, managing our finances can become increasingly complex
She
with
is so
ever-changing
sweet
tax
with
laws,
me, like,
estate
when I
planning, insurance needs, and
correct
investment
her,
environments. At
she
Apollo
does
Wealth
an
Management,
about-face.
their goal is simple: to help enrich your life with personalized, expert financial advice. With a nationwide network of advisors, they're committed to delivering the best solutions for your financial future. It's time to take control and get the guidance you deserve. Connect with an advisor today by visiting The Real Money
I
Pros.
get it.
That's
It's in my genes to be a parent. I'm
therealmoneypros.com.
just not good at this shit. And Violet's making me look so good. I so
Dream of
appreciate
home
her.
ownership a reality? Look no further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. Academy strives to offer the best rates and terms tailored to your financial situation. At Academy Mortgage, you'll be treated like family, not just another file. Navigating today's ever-changing housing market can be challenging, but their team is here to help. Experience the zero-down options, including loans with no mortgage insurance. They also provide specialized medical professional loans and unique 2-to-1 rate buy-downs that reduce your monthly payment for the first initial years of your loan. And forget about dealing with brokers and middlemen. With Academy Mortgage, everything happens in-house, from origination to funding. Say goodbye to hassles and surprises. Begin your home ownership journey today by visiting them online at academymortgage.com. That's academymortgage.com.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
This open enrollment, start making meaningful progress towards your long-term financial goals. Did you know that a health savings account, or HSA, is the most tax-advantaged account in the U.S.? Contributions are tax-deductible, which reduces your total taxable income. Withdrawals for eligible health expenses are also tax-free. And last, capital gains on investments are also tax-free. Did we also mention that it's free for individuals? Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/pro.
So you just do that. Yeah. Okay. 6. A jack 6. You could probably just do a lot of this just from social or just talking about it without even having a second. All 6. What do you think are the biggest mistakes you've seen? Honestly.
And now, back to the Real Money Pros.
We are back. Please visit our website. Go to therealmoneypros.com. Part of the reason for that, I'll tell you right now, is our purpose. Our purpose here is to promote good advertisers, good financial advisors, and the place that you find them is you go to therealmoneypros.com. The incentive is not only feedback. If you want to ask us a question, you'll get an actual answer from a fiduciary advisor. Within a couple days, usually Monday, they're all answered, and you'll get back and forth if needed. You'll get an offer for a phone call if needed, and that's because that's what we promise to do here in the Real Money Pros, and we attract good advertisers for it. Now, our advertisers are companies that we suggest to our clients because, again, we're the first ones people will call from a suggestion or referral of if something goes wrong. Like, we vetted them out the best that we can in a number of client relationships that have used them, it will vary and so on. We've got CPAs to suggest people for, we've got advisors, a great advisor network through Apollon Advisors, Wealth Management, and we're here for you. Phone lines are open as well, 979-59-MONEY, but like we talked about earlier, which is sometimes people will just do something a little willy-nilly, it'll cost them something. Maybe we can try to help you recover from some of that stuff, but better yet, to prevent it would be even better. You've got to ask the questions. We've also got some good things on the website as far as you learning. Now, a lot of visual stuff in there. Nick Daniel is part of our team along with Alec, both licensed advisors. They create videos that have explainers on just about every investment concept that you need with visuals attached to them. You can learn about better buckets there. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, and if there's something that's not covered that you have an idea for us, shoot it out, please. We're always looking for what really would resonate and be helpful.
The more interaction, the more newsletter subscribers, the more the advertisers will ultimately pay. The more they pay, the more we get this out into more markets, and the better off we do. Now, I've got a lot of hopes for Jeremiah Bates, who's not here right now, and I'm not saying hopes because he's got pneumonia. I'm saying he does have pneumonia, by the way, and he'll be just fine. He's had it before. We're gonna put him on. We're gonna get him on like a space suit. He has a daughter at prime age, the little germ recreational vehicles. Kids go home or to school and they bring all this stuff back, and it's just a germ party.
And we didn't eat dirt all day like they did, so we're out of luck.
Plus having a nearly 2-year-old, and that's just what happens, dads get sick. So Jeremiah is also a fantastic host of this program, a fantastic advisor, and he's got great opportunities moving forward. I really am excited to see it. Our job here is not to replace the 5 days a week financial programs that you get where you hear really good advice, and it's meant and it works for people that are largely stuck in the circle of bad financial decisions. What we can do here in the Real Money Pros is help you improve your scenario once you're done making the vast majority of your really bad financial decisions that keep you in the spin. Once you're out of the spin, then it's about wealth creation. What is wealth? In my opinion, a person who has wealth, that first dollar of wealth is a dollar that doesn't have any place it needs to be. You get to decide. That's wealth. Until then, there are steps that you take. There are steps like, do you own life insurance? When do you get it? My son's 23 years old, just graduated. I'm proud of him. He says, Dad, do I need life insurance? I'm like, no, not yet, unless you're not telling me about something.
Do we need to have a deeper talk?
Yeah. He said, what about a will or a trust? And I said, make it easier on us if you could do that, yes. I said, but it's probably not necessary, being that he doesn't really own anything of significant value or anything that somebody would put a claim on, so nothing that needs to go through probate.
He needs that if he doesn't die, go to us. So you have authority to make medical decisions.
Thank you for saying that, and financial decisions. So called durable power of attorneys for healthcare and for your finances, and they may be called something different in each state, but nonetheless, those two documents are vital, and parents should have them.
Once a kid's 18, you need those.
And you have them in place. My son is on his graduation trip right now. He went to Japan with some buddies. It's been a lifelong thing for skiing, and they wanted to go there where it's really special for them, by the way, and they're all ski racers, very capable skiers, and that's what they're doing. And I'm pretty happy for him. Yeah, he had to beg his mom and me a bit, and he had to earn it, and he did earn it. As far as I'm concerned, I actually paid for all my portion of it with miles. Not really gonna tell him that part, but he's
out there. What does he care?
But he had to get health insurance. I said, what are you going to do? Because he's telling me he got a car lined up. I'm like, well, what happens if one of you gets hurt? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, did you call Blue Cross and find out if they're going to cover that? No. I said, well, you need to. So we sent him on to one of the experts we work with. He called, he said, yeah, you got to pay like another $85 and it's all covered. Otherwise, the policy, from what I understand, was not going to pay until he had already paid 100% of the bills, then submits them, and then he waits for reimbursement. I says, maybe like there's travel policies, so you end up getting a travel policy through Blue Cross, by the way, that pays 100% up to $1 million and includes even like a visit in case he gets sick.
Nice.
But he wouldn't have known unless, he didn't ask the question. He didn't, it's not something that's just top of mind for everybody, and maybe you're not asking the right questions. Call the program, ask us some questions, we might lead you into some more, but the end result is that we're going to help you head toward the path of actually creating wealth. Investing is not a mystery. It's not some secret formula that you got to go to to Alex, and she's got some secret decoder pen that she writes all of your documents and it comes up with some magical solution. It's not like that. In fact, the reason why I got into this business is because I was trying to figure out why my parents fought all the time about money. They couldn't get on the same page. It was something I was always interested in. There's got to be a solution. There is. And the solution is having a strategy and an agreement. I was meeting with a CPA not long ago, and this is with my wife, and what we noticed is that I would ask questions, the CPA would address them to me. She would ask questions, she owns a business, and the CPA would address those questions to me. That's a problem. You have to like your advisor. You have to be able to feel like you are respected by them and so on, and that's how you actually should work with somebody. And then the full story gets told. And then when the full story gets told, then you craft the path to help you accomplish those goals. That's what Better Buckets are all about. So as much as it sounds like I'm trying to sell you services or something, I'm not. I'm trying to sell you into visiting our website and see if it works for you. Go to therealmoneypros.com or call the program. Let's talk about mistakes. Like, you do a lot of planning.
Yeah.
What are the biggest mistakes? I know the biggest mistakes that I usually would see with people. Well, how about you?
So I think the biggest mistake that we see is people have not saved enough.
Obviously, right? Like you just don't sock away the money, so then you don't really understand, well, that's not there at the end of it. And you say, well, did you save any money? No. Okay. Well, the first factor for having enough money for retirement would have to obviously be that you set aside the money for retirement.
And I know it's hard when you're raising a family to find an extra dollar. I get that. But that's where employer plans that take it out before you see it can be so valuable in helping you achieve that savings goal.
Well, that and understanding even how to get employed. So when my son's out now, he's looking in the workforce, he's like, what do you think, Dad? I said, well, you get a government job, you know you're gonna have a pension, you know you're gonna have some security and income, things like that. You get a private sector job where you may not get those, but then you choose amongst them. Maybe some offer pensions, maybe they have stock purchase programs. You wanna look at health insurance, you wanna look at the benefits programs, or do you wanna go at it alone? Full control. Do you want to be self-employed? In which case, you're going to be all of those things to yourself. You've got to figure out your retirement plan, your health insurance. What kind of things are you facing and how are you dealing with it? Do you need that tax advice, that tip? You can get it here in the program. It's live. It's Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. Phone lines are open, 979-59-MONEY. But the biggest mistakes might surprise you. We'll share our ideas when we come back.
Apollon Wealth Management has transformed the way our team delivers financial advice. With their support, we're more equipped and more empowered than ever to provide top-tier financial planning, management, and personalized financial guidance.
The other thing
Apollon
is
has
people
been a
think
key
they're going to work
partner
on
in helping
it.
us achieve our clients' unique financial
Because, and then
goals.
somebody
Whether
gets
you're an
sick.
advisor looking
Maybe
to
it's a
enhance your
parent, maybe it's not even
client's
that, or
experience,
somebody
or
gets
ready to
injured
take
and
your
they're on
wealth management to the
disability,
next
somebody's on
level. Reach out today
disability,
to the Real
they
Money Pros by
assume
visiting
they're going to work until
realmoneypros.com.
67.
Let's elevate your
They may not
financial
be
future
able
today.
I'm Nick Daniels with Tree City Advisors of Apollon. My team and I help our clients implement tax-smart strategies
And you know
because
that value
taxes
will
are one of the
leverage
largest headwinds your investments
You know
face.
that.
We use strategies like Roth conversions, 1031 exchanges, and more. A good advisor should help you with more than just investment selection. Visit us today at treecityadvisors.com or call us at 208
She laid into Sunny,
888
unsolicited,
Advisory
said
services
Sunny
offered through
says,
Apollon Wealth
which is
Management, LLC, DBA, Tree
anyhow,
City Advisors of Apollon. And
in a nutshell, I can't talk to Jeremy. So, and then Valerie called one of our mutual
As a
friends,
financial
Derek.
advisor, I
From
often
Derek,
see that
Jeremy, and
many
I,
families
those
I
two,
meet
we
with
all
end up
group
paying
message
way
each
too much
other,
money
Valerie
in
got a hold
taxes.
of
If a
Derek,
healthy
so-
family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but high
Nothing-
annual
it's
premium,
all
why wouldn't they
degrading
look at a
crap.
high
Nothing is even
No, it's
priced.
Sky Chat.
It's Sky
Click
Chat.
on their
Well, she called
programs
Derek
and
and
put
told
those
Derek
saved
that
dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful
So then
tax
Jeremy
advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown loan tax-free and then use tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses. That's why you need Lively, our favorite, because it's simple, fast,
shame on
and
him for
free. I
allowing
use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. It's Lively right away. You can
He's a lefty,
HSA
He's got these buttons.
new plan and start saving
His,
right away.
I would think so.
You're going
His
to
plane
love the
flies
entire
with a,
experience.
well,
Visit
no, he's actually got to go
livelymediacom
now. His last plane
/pro
was
today.
just,
That's livelymediacom
He's
/PRO.
missing
Lively is a
this
proud
finger.
sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
Part of this finger.
Begin your home ownership
Severe
journey today.
nerve
Look no
damage.
further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. And forget about dealing with
Yeah,
brokers
so-
and middlemen. With Academy Mortgage, everything happens in-house, from origination to funding. Say goodbye to hassles and surprises. Their team of seasoned professionals will be with you every step of the way. That's academymortgage.com. Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
Imagine financial advice without a sales pitch to buy something, and imagine a long-term
You get
financial
up to
plan
10,000
your
for
goals,
6
not somebody
months.
else's, and the day that you can leave your broker because you know how to do things on your own. At Tree City Advisors, we do things a bit differently than our peers.
Yeah.
We help you define your purpose for investing.
So when you talk about like disability, I can bring up a case at least of, so then, you know, I'm already
something manageable. We're a fiduciary-only firm. We design simple strategies, and we teach you how it all works without clutter,
get a
confusion,
lifetime
or high costs. We can either do your investments for you, or we can teach you how to do them on your own. In the end, we empower you with knowledge.
All right. You see a caller?
Welcome to
You got a
Tree City
call.
Advisors. This is the way we think if financial advisors should work for their clients. At Tree City Advisors, we provide flat fee planning and training. We also offer full service asset management, and we employ do-it-yourself technologies. There's never a fee for an initial meeting or review, so let's get started. Learn more at treecityadvisors.com. Tree City Advisors is an SEC registered investment advisor.
How's Joe?
You're listening to the Real Money Pros.
We are back. This is the Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. That's how you find us. Learn about the better buckets right there. We've got a great new website set up. Alexander Lundgren joining me here on the program. Jeremiah is out. Alex, you'll hear her on the program. She's fantastic. If you've got a question about Social Security, that's a really good time to call the program because she is a, what is it, registered?
Registered Social Security
Analyst.
Analyst, yes, thank you. I was like, something with an A.
Something with an A. Yeah, it's just additional training. She's a licensed financial advisor, and of course, she was our primary planner in our office. That was one of the things about when I said we have strengths that each other fill. She actually really enjoys the planning process. I enjoy the investment part of it. And so that's why it was just really good. So she decided that she also wanted to make sure that she could also analyze a Social Security situation for her. We were always referring out. It's the same thing. We'd refer it out to somebody who would then charge, and she did a great job too, by the way.
Great job.
Yeah, and she wasn't that expensive, was she?
No, not very.
It's like a couple $100 to get a full analysis done. And people wonder, like, why would I pay that for something that, you know, it's a public benefit, I'm gonna get this? It's because when you call the Social Security office, they will not give you strategy ideas on how to maximize your
They
benefit.
can only answer questions you ask. And as a single filer, you basically have 97 filing options. And probably what your neighbor did isn't the best thing for you.
So why wouldn't you want to pay, so once you turn on the benefit, you're turning on the benefit, it's a spigot, you remove the handle, it's gonna run. When you turn it on, how you turn it on, like which account you're going to go from, like is the spousal benefit, is that best, or should we delay this, or should we pay more into it, I'm self-employed? Well, you get that analysis done, once you actually do the election, well then it's permanent, you're going. You can't undo your Social Security elections beyond 6 months, right? Is it 6 months?
With one exception.
With
yes.
one.
Which is if you file early, you can come back in and say you want to delay until full retirement age, but you have to pay it all back. And you can't undo that delay. So it's kind of messy.
Yep, so get the advice. So why wouldn't you pay to make sure that whatever it is was your best option? Kind of the same thing we were talking about with the caller in the last hour, where you just got to make sure it's like confirmation. Am I on the right path? Am I doing it? Because what if something else gets caught? Such as, we just took all this money out of our IRA, $90,000, have to pay all the taxes on it to be able to buy a car that we could have bought on 0% interest, and or even split the distributions out of the IRA over 2 tax years would have been a good idea. November, and then taking the last one in January, just delay the satisfaction for 2 months, or you got a loan for part of the car and then paid it off 3 months later, but to do it for tax reasons and to not disqualify you for the IRMA credit.
Yep,
Which-
lower Medicare premium.
979-59 money, that's 979-596-6639. So we're talking about some giant mistakes. Obviously, the biggest mistake you can make for your retirement is to not save the money for retirement or to not understand the sources of income for retirement.
Right.
Okay, what else?
I think along that same vein, people think they're going to work longer than they do. They overestimate how long they're going to work, and they underestimate how long they're going to live, which is part of why there's not enough. But if you think you're going to work until 67 and then there's an injury or a family member gets ill that you need to take care of, but because of illnesses and injuries, the average retirement age is much lower than most people think
Do you
when
know-
they're going to retire.
Do you know what that number is, by the way?
It's actually early 60s.
That's
Which is
interesting.
why we have so many people on disability rather than on social security, they're not quite ready to take even that yet.
So covering disability, I mean, is that something you're also then talking to them about disability policies, things is like, what kind of coverage they have?
Well, depending how early in life they are, they absolutely need it, because sometimes life insurance doesn't help because you didn't die.
Well, let's go to the phone lines, 979-59-MONEY. We've got Brian, another Brian calling the program out of Winchester, Virginia. Hi, Brian, what can we do for you?
Hey, what's going on? I just found your program on the radio.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I just had a question. You know, what is enough money to save?
Wow.
Oh, for retirement? Yeah. So.
What's enough?
So really the way to know that is to figure out what is it that you're going to want to be spending in retirement, and then we back into it, but we then apply also some hypotheticals with regards to earnings on the money and also inflation. I tend to be conservative because I'd rather have you save too much than not enough and outlive your money, but it's actually, you can back into that number. There's no magic 1 million, 2 million, 4 million kind of numbers. So, and also if you want to leave money behind, if you're going to do a spend down plan, that varies it.
Yeah, I just didn't really
Yeah.
agree with your answer that that your clients didn't save. You said that people, the biggest fault that you see is people did not save enough.
Correct. And it's not my clients, because people who come to me have the money saved. It's everybody else who doesn't come. 60% of people age 50 and over have $0 that are earmarked for retirement, whether it's a retirement plan at an employer or an IRA. 60% of the population that is 50. That's not enough money for retirement for
Well, you
those
said
people.
that, yeah, you said that the biggest fault that you see is that people don't save enough
Yep.
money.
That's true.
I work with a lot of corporation retirement plans, so it's not the people at my desk.
Well, it doesn't matter, but Brian,
I'm just trying to make a point.
Yeah,
I'm just trying
please.
to make a point that you can never save enough money.
Oh, yes, you can. That I have seen.
No. If you have 10 million, you want 20. If you have 20, you
Oh,
want
I
20.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Well,
I've met other people.
this is semantics, and this is,
Okay, thanks.
no, I appreciate it, Brian. No, and I'm gonna agree with you on this, which is, what ends up happening is that you save money for a certain goal, when you finally get to, let's say, 2 million, then you want 3 million. I was talking to my neighbor about this just the other day with Micron, because the stock was at 60, works for Micron, it's at 400 and something. I said, and he said, no, I sell them along the way, and I said, that's great. I said, but a lot of people don't do that. And once they would see their goal was, let's say, to work at Micron until they were 65, and they had a target that calculated out to $1.5 million, but they were lucky to have had all their money tied up in Micron stock because they bought all the options, and now they're at $6 million. Do you think they're going to walk and go and retire? And the answer is typically no. Greed will literally take over these people, and so you're right. You're never saving enough money if that's the way you're looking at it. But Brian, now let's look at it from a numbers methodology, which is, if you told me that your shortfall after all income sources, you look at Social Security, your pension, you've got a budget that you're now comparing that to. So if you had $4,000 coming in from those combined sources, but your spend was $6,000 a month, you have a $2,000 a month shortfall, which is $24,000 a year, which now we can solve into an amount of money that must be there to generate that income. So let's say you take that $24,000 and you said, I can go out in the markets and get, I don't know, 6% annualized income from that, from investing from some source. Well, then now we're solving for a number that needs to be invested in a certain type of income investment portfolio to generate that type of an income. So that, I can tell you right now, you either saved enough or you didn't.
Right.
And if you don't have enough, it's because you didn't save enough. How do you know how much to save? That's exactly how we figure out how much to save.
Math.
It's math. It's not theoretical. This is not some semantics thing. This isn't about preference or anything like that. So, and we don't disagree, Brian. Actually, we're totally on the same page. You're talking about it from, yeah, these are the habits of people. Now, from an advisor standpoint, I keep that same thing in the back of my head. They go, I'm going to tell you the number that you actually need to save. And then they're supposed to do it, and they will probably do it. But as soon as we get there, they want more. I'm going to be prepared to counsel for that as well.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the better buckets, we're talking about a very visual way of saying, this is my amount of money that I need to be inside of a savings account because I'm going to need it next month. $2,000 is the rate. So that's not going to be invested. And then something has to replenish that bucket as that money gets taken out. So that $24,000 a year, we got to find out how much do we need to invest in what to generate $24,000 worth of income. So we go out there searching for investments that suit the client and their tax situation and distribution plans and all of that, and then you invest in it. That amount is an actual calculated amount. And if there's not enough money to fill that middle income bucket with that amount, then you haven't saved enough. So then you work longer and you save more money until you accomplish the goal of saving enough to turn on that income investment. That's how you do it.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to say you're wrong, Brian, but it's just two different ways of looking at it, but it's actually the same thing. And it's part of being a good advisor, which is, yeah, I gotta know my tendencies of my clients are, there's gonna be greed, so we're gonna try to take some gains along the way, gonna manage this through the process, because my goal is their goal, which is to get them to their goal. In fact, it's part of the mandate of being a fiduciary, which is work with the client to do what's in their best interest to help them achieve what's important to them. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. Trust me, I've had plenty of clients that could not control themselves, so we had to go in part ways. This is Real Money Pros.
Businesses today face a barrage of
It took
challenges.
me a while to
The
catch up
hunt
to
for
what he
top
was saying,
talent, the
and I'm
search
like,
for the right
oh,
benefits,
It's just semantics.
the rising tide of healthcare
But
rates,
that's
and putting
a
together
whole
the
different
right
situation than the
resources
person who
related tasks
literally
can be
can't pay
expensive.
their bills in
As a
retirement because they didn't
Better
save
Access
enough.
PE
Those
is a
are
professional
two,
organization.
well, those are two
But he
very
was calling the fight.
situations.
Exactly, yeah.
But he didn't, we actually agree.
Yeah.
It just, when he
Well,
was
and it took me a while to catch up to what he was saying.
You guys were going from the actual money numbers,
I'll solve myself in
but he was going from just what people feel.
Yeah.
otherwise.
Oh, and I see that too, yeah. That's money's emotional, but if you can't pay your bills, you didn't freaking save.
No, it's like
And
I've
that's
seen
a
that as I've
problem.
grown up, that like I'm not surprised that the whole 60% of people that are 50 have like zero retirement savings, because I've seen so many people in my life deal with that, and it's made me really want to jump on my retirement savings, so I'm happy I'm getting on it early.
Good for you. Yep. Well, and an early dollar is worth more down the road.
I do want to invest, like you were talking about, like
At
silver
Tree
and
City
gold
Advisors of
stuff.
Apollon, we
Part of
do
me
things
has
a
one
bit
invest.
differently. We focus
Finding
on
it,
your
yeah.
financial
Yeah,
wellness,
like-
helping you
Don't try and go
best
buy
the
this stuff.
steps to
Just buy it.
simplify
I
your
wouldn't
current
buy
finances
silver or
and plan for
gold
the future
thinking
with
that you're gonna
confidence.
make
Your first
billions.
consultation
large
is always
gains.
For me, it's
without
not
obligation.
even necessarily about the
Visit
gains, it's about
treecityadvisors.com
stability
and start your
of
journey to
it.
financial
I'm
freedom
like,
now. That's
unfortunately, I wish I wasn't. I'm a little bit of a doomer sometimes. And so, like, I have this little voice in the back of my head that's like, go buy gold, bury it in the backyard.
Healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible
Yeah,
and
I
high
understand.
annual premium.
Yeah.
Why
I get
would
it.
You could just
get a high
order.
deductible insurance plan
What?
instead? They can
Or
save on
because
their
it
premiums
goes-
and
I would-
save
like,
dollars.
well, if I had the
Savings
land,
account. Also,
I
known as an
sure would.
HSA. It's the most powerful
I
tax
have
advantage
one
account
because
title
I
available
would
to
try
you.
to
So why not
go
use it?
cheap
Take
on.
advantage of pre-tax money
If
that
I
can
were
be grown
you,
tax-free and
Cooper,
then
your
used
age,
tax-free
if I
for
knew
all
what
of
I
your
actually
qualified
know
healthcare
now, and I
expenses. That's
could
why
put
you
myself
need
back
that.
in that
Our
situation
favorite because it's
somehow,
simple,
convince
fast,
myself to
and
do it.
free. I use it, my colleagues use
Today,
it, and I
I would
recommend
say
it
buy
to all of my
anything that you
clients.
want.
Visit
That's
Lively
like
right
for
away.
real.
You can even roll over
AI
your existing HSA
perfect.
money.
And that's the thing that, like,
Start
like you
saving
talk
right
about,
away.
I really
I know
need
you're
to
going to
like
like
take
the
my
entire
money
experience.
just
Visit livelyme.com
and
/pro
invest
today. That's
Or just put it in SPY
Everybody
because
that
top
believes-
rating and all that stuff.
It has a lot of that in there. He's forcing changes on us, that he will force the gains, and that everybody that believes in him now will benefit from it. You gotta go. Yeah. But you be careful with that advice, same thing, it's like, but you gotta give this some time. It would have been like somebody convincing you or me to put in all your money in the internet IPOs. Like, the reality is, you would have bought one, you'd have been extremely wealthy.
I will Microsoft.
We're back to the Real Money Pros.
We are back. This is The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. Now, years ago, I got divorced, and it was after a long marriage, 23 years. We didn't fight. We still get along, actually. And I had a friend that came over to me, and he was sitting in the parking lot of my office. He's like, Brian, come outside. And I'm like, why? I don't know. I go out there, and he's just standing out there. He's like, man, I heard what you're going through. And he just wanted to give me a hug. Cool guy. I'm like, man, he lost his son, by the way, years before that, meaning that the level of pain that he knew was so far significant. And I told him, I'm like, man, you don't need to worry about me. I'm like, what you've gone through. He was like, no. He goes, we only know what our worst pain was. Like, this is the worst thing you've gone through, then that's that. And I said, wow, great
We don't
perspective.
get to compare struggles and challenges.
We're not one-upping each other on who's gone through worse. Well, kind of like what Brian was just talking about, how when you have certain amounts of money, then you want more. You get a certain standard and you want more. But the answer is usually don't get to some level and just all of a sudden get completely complacent, meaning you'll never save enough money for what your desires and maybe your greed or whatever entices you beyond what you'd asked for prior. When you've already achieved it, you just want more. So when we're talking about the best way to actually deal with this emotion is the strategy that Alex and I are talking about, which is the best way to do it is to show it visually. This is how you derive the numbers, this is how we're going to get to the number, and this is how much money you gotta save. And most people who would complain that they don't get enough to be able to cover that, let's say theoretical $2,000 a month, the answer will be, it's because you didn't save enough.
Yeah.
Probably. Or you didn't earn enough money on your investments. Less likely. That is
Or
much
you
less
ended
likely.
up not having as long to save as you thought you were going to.
Yeah, because we usually juice up our savings the closer the need becomes. I was just telling our producer, if I could back up to their age, knowing what I know now and all the life experience that I've had, which nobody gets this luxury, and I could actually listen and take my own advice that some old guy's given me. And if I were to do it, I'd be worth a lot of money. You would be too. Imagine, and I'm talking about when I was in my 20s, it was the very beginning of the dot-com boom.
Yeah.
And I had friends, I was in college, we were talking about this stuff that was gonna change the world, that e-commerce was a new topic that we were talking about, but I didn't buy into it.
Well, I remember sitting in Chicago at a meeting with a mutual fund company who's been bought a couple of times, but you know who they were, well known. listening to some of the fund managers, and they were talking about how Amazon was so speculative. There was no brick and mortar. They didn't feel it was too risky for their fund, blah, blah, blah. Holy moly, if they'd have bought Amazon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If
right.
I'd have been like, oh, well, this is speculative, I should go buy some. No.
That's why I keep comparing what's going on with AI to what happened when we saw the development of the World Wide Web, the information superhighway. That I remember news reports on the development of computers that could talk to each other over the oceans. It was just unheard of. I'm like, well, so what? Like, who cares about this? This is in 1987 probably, and this is after Apple came out with their great new computer in 1984, this all-in-one thing, which even then looked at it going, who in the world needs one of these at their home? Like, who's going to want to sit and do home accounting? And
if you're not writing a paper for school, what's the point, right?
it was because I didn't understand it. But those who were developing it fully understood the future applications of what it was that they were doing. They were like, they knew that communications was the #1 goal at the end of this thing, which was going to change how commerce was done, how we even get information, how we communicate with people casually, professionally, all of it. And sure enough, we didn't see it coming, right?
Yep.
If you didn't invest in it, you didn't have a bunch of it in the late 80s, well then you didn't really get into it in the early development cycle. When we were talking last year about AI, robotics, quantum computing, we're talking about major changes to how humans operate, how society operates, but we know that we're headed there. In fact, if you just watch movies from the last 15 years, they're all predicting it.
Right. Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. And either go with it or you don't. It could be an accelerated way to be able to create wealth, but you've got to create discipline enough for a 23-year-old to say, yeah, I'm going to set all this dream money, all this fun money aside for something I don't understand, but I just have to believe you, Dad, that this is probably the best thing. And they're not going to do it. Even if he did, you would change your targets along the way. Let's just imagine that Cooper did it, my son, 23, and by the time he's 30, he's got, give me a number, $5 million now of net worth. And I'm now telling him, hey, Cooper, you can retire now. And he'd be like, why would I want to retire on this one? I'm sitting there making hand over fist, and I can have $20 million by the time I'm 40. Then you're right, you would never save enough. But what if you could counsel away some of those tendencies of greed by helping people dig in, and why is it that you feel this way? Oh, we grew up in a family where, we never had enough. Or maybe that's the reason why people don't invest. Or I grew up with really politically minded folks, and, I get with the team, and I wear the color of that shirt, and so I'm not getting in that, meaning your emotions, your feel for things are driving your ultimate investment decisions. Here's one thing I can say, observation-wise. It's happened with Howard Hughes, it happened with Bill Gates, for all that matters, and Steve Jobs. There are people who will come into our era and will make significant changes that will be substantial. And right now I can see that happening. It's happening with Sam Altman, you've got Elon Musk. It's technology right now. It's going to be the refinement of how we generate technology, what we use it for. That if you don't invest in it to some degree, I believe that it's going to become the haves and the have-nots like we've never seen before. I don't even think Elon Musk really understood what he was saying when he did an internet interview of some sort of couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. And he said, yeah, in the future, everybody's going to have really high income and they only have to do anything to work for it. I'm like, wow, that sounds so weird and miserable and odd for the guy with $250 billion to be saying to us, or maybe he's got $500 billion in value right now.
Depends which day of the week it is, probably.
But in essence, he's saying that all human society be reliant upon some sort of a provider, which means that provider gets to make the rules. And my concern is that we can see this coming now, so why don't we either invest for it, so you can actually benefit, so you're not one of those people dependent upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oftentimes it's because of fear. Not understanding the reasons for what is AI actually purposed to do effectively that will actually generate good results or whatever it's going to be, or investment income or whatever it might be. And then how do we go into this reasonably? Somebody talked earlier about buying silver, and we were asking them questions about overexposure, like, are you going to buy too much? No, I just want to do this because I see some opportunity. Great. And if this opportunity doesn't happen, is it going to just smoke your entire plan? The answer is no. Then yes, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it's just making sure that you have the right amount in those types of situations. If it's something where I want to hit a home run, but if I don't, it won't mess everything up, then go for it.
So let's imagine that caller instead said, well, I want to put all this money into some speculative technology like AI or quantum. And it doesn't work out. So then now Brian, his comment comes in and said, so you're saying that, he did save enough. It was in his solar or his AI investment, he lost it. So he did save enough, it just wasn't there. I would say, no, he didn't tell us that was part of the plan money to get him to the goal that he needed to have to be able to generate enough. So no, he
don't have the information, we can't give you good advice.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you getting this information and getting the right advice that comes out of it? And I do believe that you have access to it. You might already be paying for it. You might have an advisor that has done maybe somewhat of a lazy approach with you. Maybe you just need to renew that, refresh it. You don't need to threaten them. It's not going to be ultimatums likely. Maybe you need a review from another advisor. But the bottom line is you got to ask questions. And you ask questions on the air here, it's great. We appreciate that. You're paying somebody to answer your questions. Go have them work for it.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to do a reset. I mean, if it's been 5-6 years, sometimes it's not a bad idea to sit down with the advisor and be like, okay, pretend you don't know me, ask me all those questions, let's see what's changed.
Yeah, maybe you've matured out of the level of advice that they're able to actually give, because maybe your net worth or your age advance has now changed scenarios that they're just not excellent with. That's okay. Then you find another advisor and you carry on. It's your life. It's your money. What matters to you should matter to your advisor. Alex, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fun. Good Saturday. I'm Brian Wiley. This is Real Money Pros. Have a great weekend.
Real Money Pros is hosted by Brian Wiley and other team members of Tree City Advisors of Apollon. Tree City Advisors of Apollon is a DBA of Apollon Wealth Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor and affiliate of the Real Money Pros. Real Money Pros and Tree City of Apollon are not affiliated with any of the companies or non-advisor professionals participating in this program. Adderall as CEO and Apollon Wealth Management are financial sponsors of the Real Money Pros.
Now the child is injured
advisory fees for these sponsors and log into the realmoneypros.com to contact
the perspective is completely different between the boys and the girls.
This program is brought to you.
The girls are getting counseling for the rest of their lives. The boys have a broken